Welcome to the Awaken Your Ego podcast, where we embark on a transformative journey towards unleashing your highest potential. I'm your host, Joanne, and I'm thrilled to guide you through discussions that delve into the realms of physical, mental, and spiritual wellness.
Brenna here. Join us as we unravel the mysteries of wellness, offering insights and practical tips to enhance your overall health. From rejuvenating your body to nurturing your mind and spirit, our conversations will cover a holistic approach to well-being.
I'm one of your hosts, Ariana. Discover alternative health strategies aimed at optimizing every aspect of your life. If you're ready to embark on this journey of self-discovery and well-being, tune in, open your mind, and let's awaken your ego together. Welcome to a life-changing adventure on the Awaken Your Ego podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Awaken Your Ego podcast. We have Joanne back with us now.
Yes, coming out of maternity. Well, I mean, I'm still on maternity, but like the newborn
Haze.
Yeah, seriously. So actually, if I do forget what I'm saying, I feel like that's been happening a lot this week. Just give me some grace, guys. Of course.
Of course. You're like a brain fog.
It's still coming back to
What's
me.
my excuse?
Exactly. He didn't, and we're here with Brandon. Thank you for coming. He didn't have a baby, but he's allowed to have those moments
We're
too.
so excited. So Brandon Hagar is a former infantry Marine turned nutritional coach who teaches leadership through self-mastery, using health, mindset, and discipline as a foundation for building people who lead themselves first. Love that.
I made it.
Just a few things about you.
So what first got you interested in fitness and nutrition, being a Marine?
When I was in high school, I grew up as a fairly overweight kid. My older sister was into fitness. She got into running and whatnot. I ended up following in about junior year summer. I ended up losing 60 pounds in like 2 months.
Wow.
And that was kind of like the jump start to everything from there. And then I fell in love with the hard work and long distance running and all that stuff. And then Marine Corps is kind of natural progression, I guess.
Marines will put that to the test. What did you initially start doing to kind of start losing weight and entering that fitness?
I quit everything cold turkey. Definitely not how I teach it or what I would ever recommend for anybody, especially like a kid.
Yeah.
I did quit everything cold turkey, all ultra processed foods, sodas, all that stuff. And I started running a lot.
Okay.
And, it was easy because I was young, but also because my diet was so heavy on a lot of carbohydrates, ultra processed foods and stuff like that. It was just, that transition was just super easy to lose the weight at that point.
Yeah.
I was scrawny. I was a long distance runner kid.
Wow.
So completely different now.
No, for sure. That's cool. It's cool that you're able to have that mind over matter and just quit all the comforts that you're used to and then just start doing a whole new program that takes definite intense mindset. Like I guess a strong-willed person.
Yeah, I think I was tired of it. There was a part of me that was like, this isn't what I'm supposed to be or supposed to look like. So I just kind of changed. And it's funny because I ate a lot of boiled eggs at that time. And it took me probably 5 years to get over not gagging of them. Once I
You just ate that so much.
So many. Terrible.
Yeah, no, honestly, being postpartum, I can see how easy it is to just get comfortable. I mean, being young, you have, less responsibilities as a mother with a newborn, but that mindset to get into, to really just like, what, I'm 20 pounds overweight right now, not happy with it. But in the sense is like, when I think about it, it's like, okay, like, yes, it could be from having a baby, but how is my diet? How is my nutrition? How is my water intake? How am I sleep? And there's a lot of times where you can easily just be like, what, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. I want to lay down. I want to eat. I want to snack. I want to feel good, whatever. Yeah. So easy to fall into that. And I admire that at a young age to be able to be like, what, I'm tired of seeing myself like this. I'm just going to do it. And to go as extreme as you did, it's pretty hardcore. I don't know how many, youth can do that. and just to tap in and to really lose the weight towards like, no, I made a complete change, and as adults, it doesn't really get easier.
Right.
So yeah, I think tapping into that early on is huge.
Yeah, I think part of it too, especially like postpartum and whatnot, I talked to a lot of parents, and one shift that a lot of them have that I talked through is like a responsibility. Like now that I have somewhat of an online presence and I'm coaching these people and they see me, I'm more front facing type deal. I have a responsibility to show them, the standard, right? I have to be the standard, as like a parent should as well. Like you have a responsibility to show a certain standard, because you always have eyes on. So it's extremely important.
Well, and they're signing up for you to teach them what you know, kind of what you're presenting. So I think that does add a little bit of pressure of like, okay, I need to give you the outline. Like you're looking to me and I'm supposed to have the answers. Like, let me figure it out. And obviously you have your equation. But I love that you go from multiple angles. Like you're saying like health, mindset, discipline. In what ways do you coach your clients in that, in that way?
So I think the motto of my business is keep it simple, stupid. I say at the end of all my videos and whatnot. I think I prescribe to the notion of, or the theory of Occam's razor. The simplest answer is usually the correct one, right? So I think that can be applied to life in general, but especially health and fitness, because there's so many new things out there. Everybody loves the novelty of these new medications, which is fine. But at its core, there's a few simple rules to follow. And if you follow those rules, you'll do just fine. You'll do great. But most people don't. They want the new, they want the special, they want the magic pill, right? So I think deciphering what's, for lack of better terms, bullcrap and not, is extremely important in the space.
Well, and how ignorant is it to think that one thing is going to change it all,
Right. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people don't want to validate the mindset piece that is in body image and weight loss and how that creates barriers and excuses. And they just are like, no, I just am overweight. It's like, wait, but why? How did we actually get here? What do we need to change to develop a new way of living? And it's interesting. I love that you have made that correlation and you're coaching people on it, because I think sometimes people want to ignore that food is feeding something different,
Right.
Or even the keeping it simple. I feel like even with nutrition too, like nowadays, like everything is bad. Every food, there's always something with some type of fruit or vegetable or anything. And there's always more like people talking about it, like, oh, you shouldn't eat this. This fruit does this to you. Too much of it does that. And so that can be overwhelming. Yeah. And I think that sometimes when you do want to be very specific and you want the best of the best, but it's like you're overwhelming yourself and you're stressing yourself out because now you're paranoid to eat anything.
And we've met clients like that.
Yeah.
They're like, there's so many do's and don'ts that they're like, I don't even know.
Yeah, they don't even know what to do. So they'd rather just not get involved with it at all. They're just like, this is overwhelming. I'm over it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. It's the whole, I don't know if you guys have heard the study, the peach study. It's like there's a bunch of different brands of peaches, and you go to the store for peaches and you see all these brands in front of you and you're overwhelmed, and eventually you're just like, I don't even want peaches anymore. But when they drop it down to 3 separate ones, it's much easier to pick.
Yeah.
So I think breaking things down simply is extremely important and undervalued, especially in this space, because everything's so new. Everything's, deemed a health risk or, everything's a problem now. So like what is good, what's bad? And I think labeling it good and bad isn't the answer. Yeah, it's part of the problem itself.
No, I love to look at like good, better, best concept of like, even a small change that puts you in a good direction, even if it's not the best choice, it's going to make net positive, right? So it's like, I try to not be so harsh on myself. It's like, let's make a little pivot and we'll make another pivot and another. It's like to get to that ultimate option with whatever it is. But something we talk a lot about at Ego is just like with employees is like, if you can't explain it simply, you don't know it well enough yet.
Right.
And I'm like, so even a very complex thing, we should be able to boil it down to have someone else receive that info, or else we just haven't studied it enough. So I like how that concept of like keeping it simple, because if we can't, even emotions, like if I can't itemize my emotions in a simple way and I want to make it other people's fault, it's like I'm not letting myself see the answer, if that makes sense. But,
100%.
I like that.
yeah.
So Brandon, how do you define true health?
That's a good question. I don't think there's a clear definition, and I don't think I can give one. I think it differs for everybody. Everybody's at different stages in life. When I got out of the military, they prescribed me with a bunch of different medications. I thought me taking those medications was health. I had a lot of back pain. I have a lot of, mental issues, whatever it was.
Right. They said this was a solution.
Yeah, they said this was the solution, and I took it and believed it was the solution. And at that time, that was health for me. That's what it looked like. But when I flushed them all down and quit everything cold turkey and went through withdrawals, that felt like health to me as well, because it was a mental shift. So if I were to describe health for myself or postpartum, someone who's been a mother for a while, like, it looks completely different. So I don't think I can give a correct answer for that.
Yeah, no worries.
No, I like that you are allowing that to stay complex, because I know your whole thing is keeping things simple,
Right.
But you're right. There's so much that goes under that umbrella of health and overall well-being that it's hard to put any one thing down.
Right.
And therefore that's why clients, I'm sure, seek different things when they're actually like meeting you for nutrition or guidance. It's like they're all ending up wanting something similar, but a little bit different depending on where they're at.
It's all fairly similar. Like, everybody realistically has very similar goals. They want to look good naked. Realistically, everybody wants to look good naked. They want to feel good. They want to have energy. They want to be strong. Whatever, this kind of stuff. Everybody has very similar goals at the end. The end result, though, looks very different for everybody. They go into it with the same thing. They come out with completely different perspectives on everything, which is it's so fun to decipher what people truly want. And how I begin everybody is, one of the questions I ask is what's their why? And why do you want to do this? And I get to the root cause of everything. And usually some people will cry, some people will stay shallow for the rest of their lives. And that's okay. It's just something to give a landmark towards.
And it's nice that you're willing to meet the clients where they're at. Knowing that there's different levels of depth and desire and thought. I think that shows the signs of a good coach too, is that you're willing to kind of go through that journey and figure out exactly where they're at and then figure out where they're headed, and you can kind of help them along the way. Did you always know you wanted to coach others, or is that like a passion that kind of developed at a certain point?
After I lost the weight, I wanted to do a lot more hard things, so military, whatnot. And when I was in the military, I got really into fitness. I became a leader in the military, and that's where things kind of started developing, where I found out I really wanted to coach and teach people more and more. Even in high school, before I left, I was contemplating being a teacher, stuff like that. But being a leader in the Marine Corps is where I truly developed I want to say skill, because I wasn't good at it, but the passion and love for it, and wanting to learn people and meet them where they're at, and understand what they need and how to get it to them. So being that, I like to say ood way to the Kung Fu Panda. It's my favorite movie. So.
Oh, that is funny.
So what would you say is your philosophy when it comes to training and nutrition?
It's changed over time. Recently, I've been thinking a lot more about what I describe, or what I would characterize as a mask. Like, people wear a mask. By mask, I mean a behavioral character.
Like a facade.
Yeah, like a facade. It's a behavior character that defines that people wear. It's outward facing and whatnot. And a lot of people put on a mask at some point to protect them, to whether it's emotionally, whether it's physically, whatever it is. You see like the child who gets yelled at a lot, they have a people pleaser mask on, for an example, or somebody who emotionally eats, it's to run away from, emotions, right? I think a lot of people have these masks that they put on. And I used to believe that you had to look in the mirror and basically hate who you were in order to change the person. I no longer believe that. I believe now that my goal and everyone's goal should not be to change, but to liberate. Liberate who they are under the mask. And I think when I think back now, looking at that kid who was overweight and wanted to lose weight, it didn't feel like I needed to change. It felt like I needed to be more of who I already was. So it was almost liberating who that was underneath, if that makes sense.
I love that.
That's really cool. I like that detail of it, because I think that's also you looking back and being kind to yourself. It's like, wait, I wasn't motivated from a place of hate and I can't stand myself and shame. It was like, no, I wanted to feel more like I thought I should feel. And that's a very stark contrast between those two.
It's funny to see, and anyone who does like personal growth, I feel like they understand this to a certain degree. When you something clicks in your mind when you're at an older age, you can almost always trace it back to something in your childhood. And it's almost like a chain being broken from that childhood self. It's like you're going back in time. You're like, oh, this makes sense now.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I think that's true. I think anytime I have like a weird anxiety or intense emotion, I'm like, wait, what is this reminding me of? Why does it feel so intense? If my emotion isn't matching the scenario, where was the gap? Where's that gap? And it usually is something of like, oh, it's triggering me from, past stuff, and it's making me feel disrespected or whatever it was,
Yeah, exactly.
How, I guess for me, I can tell you're a very strong-minded person, right? Like you have your beliefs, you don't put up with BS. It's like, how do you handle a client that is stuck in that victimization? They want to believe their own BS and the excuses. Like, how do you kind of help them see it different?
So it's a great question, because you can't realistically, you realistically can't change a mind. I mean, if somebody's set in their ways, they're not going to be able to change. I truly believe that the victim mentality is more or less a plague, to put it harshly. It's holding a lot of people back, and it's the characterization of a scapegoat. People want the blame to be taken off themselves logically. Like, we don't want to blame ourselves. Nobody wants to be wrong. And nobody tries to be wrong, right? And it takes a sense of empathy and a sense of just dropping down to their level and understanding where they're coming from and having this true understanding of who they are. So when I go through with a client, first and foremost, we do like an awareness phase where we make everything aware. Like, everything they are doing becomes hyper aware. Whether what they're eating, like, I don't change their diet whatsoever. The first phase, we're just creating awareness, seeing like, hey, this is what you're actually eating day by day. A lot of people don't even know that. But also I do a daily check-in. It's a text check-in. And with that check-in, I break it down into like your win for the day, because I think it's super important to have mini wins to create any habit. It's super important. It's a win acronym: win every day. What's your small win for the day? What's your pattern interruption? So I part of being aware is understanding what negative patterns you have. So interrupting those patterns, super important. And then what do you have to do today? Like, what's your need? So I think that characterizes a awareness at its whole, in its core. Like, you understanding these patterns that you're creating and how they're not serving you.
I like that awareness of like, well, if this is your goal and this is how you're acting, what can we insert to get you closer to your goal? What do we need to change?
100%.
Have you read that book, Atomic Habits?
Yes, I have.
Love it. Yeah. It's like, are we putting things in our own way to help us make the, right choices? I think it's like, yeah.
Yeah. Genius. And Atomic Habits, even James Clear talks about environments and how important your environment is, and how I describe an environment as it remembers you. Like you see a lot of people who go to rehab and stuff like that. They come back to their home. They do very well in rehab. They come back, and I think he talks about it in the book even. They come back, and most of them go into remission. Not remission. They go back to the addiction because the environment remembers the mask that you wore around it.
And the mask wants to exist in that environment.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
No, totally. I like that.
Yeah, I love that you're bringing that type of awareness to your clients because, like you said, not a lot of them understand that or are even aware. They're so caught up in the day to day that, you know, when you go on like that automatic mode where you're just like, oh yeah, well, I always eat this. Like, I don't even realize that I'm snacking on chips after I'm upset or stressed out. You know, it's like they really don't see that. And I think it's awesome that you're also taking that next step to kind of like connect that dot. Like, okay, well, you know, like you said, everything connects to something in your childhood, which we are huge fans of trauma.
Trauma
Inner
release.
child healings and all
Not
that.
trauma itself, but
Yeah, we love getting into that. But 100%, you know, we've both done some shadow work. We've both done deep diving, soul diving. And so to be able to like bring that awareness to other people, because like you said, once you've done the work, you understand. But I think that it also kind of helps, I mean, as a health coach as well, I think that helped me kind of have a little bit of, I don't want to say empathy, but I guess empathy for patients, because when you understand that it's like, this is almost like their childlike behavior, you know, they don't actually understand that. And me with a better understanding, I can look at them without judgment and just know like, you know, this is just a pain from your past. But if I can't change you, I can give you the tools and help you see it, but you ultimately have to do the work.
Yeah.
100%.
Because, you know, I understand that. I'm sure other people understand too. It's hard to try to convince someone when they're not ready.
Right. And people only understand to the complexities that they know.
Yeah.
Like, what their comprehension is their limit,
a limiting
really.
capacity,
Right.
yeah.
So when in the health space, if you expand your comprehension and whatnot, you know it more, so realistically, more than the average person. But I have to reel myself in quite often because I'm like, well, how do you not know this?
Right.
Like, shouldn't everybody?
Don't we all know this now?
Yeah.
No, and I love that. I love that approach that you have. And I think I like helping people see that like facades they're a tool, like you're saying. Like sometimes it's important to have that facade that you developed for whatever reason, but the closer we can get to just being in alignment and not feeling like we have to change masks, the more free you are. Like you said, you feel liberated. Like I could just be me in any one moment. But I think some people think, no, this is how I show up for my kids and my job, and this is how I show up for my employee. Like whatever it is, they just put on different hats. In reality, like why can't I just be all those things all the time?
Sure. I will say that a mask would be different from a trigger.
Oh yes.
Like there's a negative way to view it and a positive way to view it. I've had clients, they come home from work and they can't leave work at work.
There.
They stuck there. I've had people change their clothes, just take off their shoes at a certain spot every day to put on essentially a new hat. Yeah. And you're like, oh, you're in home mode. Like you're not working anymore.
I'm that person. I'm like, hey, I gotta go change. I literally have to like change my shoes, my clothes, take off the jewelry. I'm like, I just want to be me.
Take a shower. Like it's a trigger point that I wouldn't say that changes the mask, but it changes the mode
environment.
And females actually, they're really good at changing. Like their thought processes around environments more than men. Men have to very intentionally do so, women less so, which is very cool.
You're like lucky.
Jealous. Even when I'm on my group coaching calls or I'm here or I'm coaching in general, I put this hat on, the same hat every time. Like it's a transitional trigger for me. I put this hat on. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to coach. Like I'm ready to be in this right now. So I think having and utilizing triggers in a positive way is extremely important. There's no such thing as reactivity. Like there's subconsciously, you're never reactive. You're always proactive. So if we can change those subconscious proactive thoughts, then we can create real triggers that are intentional and creating awareness, like I said, and then we can create these intentional triggers that can actually help us instead of hinder us, like, being an emotional eater or something like that, you know?
I like that. And how do you help? And because this is a question I ask, we're thinking about a lot of like how to kind of show people the evidence, trusting that they're smart enough to pick up what they need and adjust. How do you help people pop out of that life is happening to me? Mm-hmm. I'm not happening to life. It's like, how do you have them go from, I guess not even victimized, but like just handling emergencies as they come and helping them to be more intentional? Because it sounds like you're just helping everyone be more intentional with their actions and what they're doing and where they're at. How do you coach that shift?
Resilience. I think that's what I mean, I would describe resilience as I think Ross Edgley, he puts it amazingly. It strategically placed pain. And I think if we look at it that way, it's almost like you can be proactive with all this stuff. One issue a lot of people have is I call it no fatigue. They try to willpower their way through life. Say you're on a diet and you're saying no to all these foods and whatnot. Your coworker brings in donuts and you have to say no. All of a sudden, by the time you get to the end of the day, you've reached this no fatigue and you're like, I can't say no anymore. I'm going to go to Taco Bell or whatever it is. I'm going to reach for the bag of chips or whatever it is. So I think one, creating an environment that's conducive, making more friction for those negative habits and creating less friction for the positive habits. And that what's different for everybody. That can be not buying chips or it can be buying chips in individual bags, right? But also, I think it has to come to at some point, you have to understand your goals and you have to be very clear with yourself and what your goals are. I do believe tracking individual wins is extremely important in every day. Like every day, I do like a gratefulness practice because it's something, it's hard for me to stop and be mindful in the moment and feel grateful for stuff. So I focus on that. I think people having some non-negotiables to ground you is one of the most important things. If you don't have something to ground you, you're that much easier to spiral. And even when I don't do my gratefulness practice, I feel it. And I feel like
less grounded.
I'm less grounded. I'm more likely to spiral and go eat something I don't really need or don't really want. I'm looking for that emotional relief in the moment if I'm stressed, stuff like that. So I believe building that resilience comes with time. And I do think tailoring in my program, towards the end of the program, I have people intentionally go out, go to party, whatever they like to do, go out and do that, but be intentionally proactive, not subconsciously proactive. And they have like a limit. They have certain parameters, like they still have to hit their goals if they're going out. So they have to prepare for that. So I think life doesn't happen to us truly. And I think the more you understand that, the more you realize that, the more control you truly have.
The more power
the more responsibility you take, the more power. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I like that. I'm very much of like, I'd rather prepare and attack life than feel like I'm always having to just be in emergency mode, doing what's coming my way. It's like, no, I want to carve my path first and figure that, make the moves to be in the position I want to be in. But I know that's not everyone's objective or how they exist. But I love talking on that concept because we all fall into victimization sometimes as far as like, well, it's because of them. I'm not happy because of that. It's like, wait a minute. How did I play into it though? Why am I participating in it? Why am I not sovereign? Why am I letting it affect me? It's like, it's triggering something in me.
And nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
Like, we all fall, like you say, we all fall into that victim mentality here and there. I think the point is not to not fall into it, but to come out of it quicker.
Love that.
I think that should be the ultimate goal. It's like anything realistically, like a relationship. If you're feeling distant towards your partner, the goal should be not to not become distant, but it should be to become closer as soon as possible. Like,
or I could just sit here and look at him and be like, why aren't you coming at me? Like, why aren't you helping me? No, it's a difference in vibe.
I mean, whenever somebody goes off their diet, I think it's extremely important not to beat yourself up for it.
Yeah.
And just move the fuck on.
Yeah. I'm human. I messed up. Let's not waste time in the shame. Let's start doing better.
Right. I had somebody tell me, Because I'm heavy with guilt and shame for most of my life. I have been. And I had somebody tell me that shame is the closest emotion to death. I'm like, wow, that hits.
It's intense.
That's intense. I'm like, I gotta get out of this.
Yeah. Why am I caring so much then?
Right.
Well, and something we say a lot is like how like emotions are a signal, like not a state of being.
Yeah.
And so if I remember that when I'm feeling intense, I'm like, hold on, this is something's there's a message here to learn. My body's telling me this feels familiar. We're scared. We're going to fall into an old pattern or a trigger. We're going to be put in a place we don't want to be. In reality, it's like, no, this is just a signal. Let me hear it. Let me feel it. Let me acknowledge it. Where did it come from? Okay, now it can move through me and I can move on. You know, because most of the time it's not as intense as it feels.
Yeah, it's like clouds. Like rainy clouds, they come over you, you feel the rain, then they leave.
Yeah.
That's
just
how
a moment.
Flowers need the rain to grow.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that. So many analogies. What would you say is a common misconception you wish people would drop about fitness and food and lifestyle?
Misconception. Yeah. Sorry, cut that out. There's a lot of them.
I'm sure you see a lot because that's what you're dealing with all these different people, different misconceptions.
Yeah, I back to the quick fixes. I think I'd have to go to. At its core, fat loss is the same no matter what diet you go to. Like you have to be it's energy balance. You have to be in a calorie deficit. That looks different for everybody. But you have to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight. That's just
fact.
That's just a fact. That's objective truth. And none of these special diets is necessarily the answer, but it can be a tool. Like some people might love keto, not my thing. Yeah. Some people might love carnivore, not my thing. If it works for you, great. However, you have to understand the mechanism that's happening. It's a calorie deficit. That's all it's doing for you. But what happens after? The follow-on action is more important than the action itself. The follow-through. I think as a society, we lack follow-through. We have high intentions for everything. I mean, how many times have you looked in the mirror and you said, "New year, new me"? Like everybody does it every
year. It's so
year.
cliche. I would never say that, right. But I get it.
I do it. So. But everybody does it, and everybody has these intentional moments where they're like, "Oh, I'm going to change this. This is the determining factor right here. I'm going to change everything," and they don't. And I do believe that this is such an issue because of self-trust, and I think confidence is, we lack confidence as a society at this moment in time. Right? We have so much connection, but we are also the least bit social and connected at the same time. And I think part of that is a confidence issue that we have. We're always behind a mask, behind a screen. It's hard to have confidence these days. I think confidence comes from self-trust, having the ability to know yourself in these situations, taking it back to these situations where you can't control life and you have these things happen to you and you have to, let the emotions flow over you and you have to be able to control and feel at the same time. I think self-trust I've defined it as coins in your pocket. When you're a kid, you don't have any masks on. You're born with a certain amount of coins in your pocket. And every time you declare something, you make that intention, you say, "Hey, I'm going to lose weight." And you don't, you give up a coin, you give up some self-trust. And this can be anything. Like, "I'm going to start reading." You don't do it. Give up some self-trust. But every time, me too. But every time you do and you do follow through, you gain a coin. And a lot of us I would define us as being in trust debt. And it's very hard to get out of that. Right. So follow through is just one of the most important things.
It's huge. Well, and as a kid, I feel like you're kind of trained to betray your own trust and trust someone else.
Yeah.
And that's even, I think, as an adult, you have to realize, like, wait, am I doing this for me? Am I doing this to please someone? Like, what's my actual intention? What does it boil down to? But I think, like you said, it's way easier to betray myself than someone else. I'll always show up for someone else.
Yeah.
But if, like Joanne was saying earlier, but if I'm too tired and I don't feel like working out, I can betray myself, and it doesn't feel like I'm giving up a coin because no one knows it but me.
Right.
I'm holding that shame on my own.
Yeah.
But but it's like being honest of like, wait, why am I allowing myself to let me down when it's so hard for me to let other people down? Why am I not holding myself with the same esteem as if I were an outward person?
Right.
So sometimes even within me, I try to look at myself as another being of like, hey, what would I say to a friend in this scenario? Because for me, I'm like, suck it up, buttercup. Let's go. Put it on your back. Keep going. That's not very nice. I would never say that to another person. But I try to almost like separate myself in the current moment with my being to be like, hold on, what does this person need? Like, how can I talk to myself as I would anyone else instead of just being dismissive and like, get over it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, sometimes I need the nurture, and why am I withholding that? You know?
Well, as
Yeah.
a mother, it's hard because you are constantly in that mode of like, do I do me time or someone else time?
Well, right. Yeah.
It's
of course.
true.
Yeah.
And then it's easy to just get lost. And like, I've been doing this for so long now, like, I don't even know.
Well, and it feels good self-sacrificing. Like, look how awesome I am. I just betrayed myself to help this person. And you get into this weird savior self-sacrifice complex that I think is so bizarre.
At the same time, isn't it so cool that we have that in us though? Like
That gear.
becoming a parent, like there's this shift in your mentality, and now you want to sacrifice more for others. And I think there's a purity in that. I think a lot of people, they hate on it. I think there's a genuine curiosity I have, but also respect I have for those type of people. Like the most influential people, they have this outward belief that they have to help other people, right? And realistically, like I think a big part of it is self-esteem. Like the lack of self-esteem doesn't come from a lack of confidence; it comes from a lack of service. So, like I had a client. We were on a phone call, and she's like, "I just don't know my purpose anymore. I don't know anything." And I'm like, that sucks. That really does. And I prescribed her to go do community service, and she did. And then after that, she's like, everything's changed for her.
Wow.
And I think a lot of these people, they have this genuine want to change. And like I said, changing isn't really the issue here. I mean, if you put somebody in a prison, they want to be free. Do they want to add more cages or less? Less, right?
Yeah,
They want to be liberated. So I think serving somebody else, serving something else, a baby, an animal, I think that brings you back to your childhood core of pure, because you're giving to somebody else, and all eyes are on you. And now you have to uphold the standard, not only for yourself, but for others. So I think there's a shift that, yes, we have to be our own people. Yes, it's 100% so important to be like, have your own personal like purpose. But I think a lot of it stems from service in its core.
Oh yeah.
I think I think you're right. Like serving others and having gratitude and being willing to share knowledge and effort is like huge, and it feels good. I think it's just hard when sometimes, and I think a lot of women, in my opinion, fall into this being mothers, wanting to help and nurture and connect with people and create community, that sometimes you fall too deep in it to where you like get addicted to that feeling of giving. And you're like, wait, my cup's freaking empty. No one's giving my way, but I need to keep giving because this feels good. It's what I think I should do. But it's like, even with good things, there needs to be a balance, and I think sometimes we sway way the one way, and we're like, wait, why do I feel forgotten? Why do I not have it in the tank for me?
Yeah.
Like that's,
Because it's easy to feel accomplished, or I'm just using motherhood. You got the dishes done, you did laundry, your house is a mess, your
Kids are
somewhat
alive.
decent, and so you're like, oh, I did a lot today. But again, I didn't get to work out. I didn't get to eat as I wanted to because I was busy doing all these other things. So I think that, it's easy to get lost in that. And I feel like there's a ripple effect. Like you get too into like that mother mode and you're like mothering everyone. And then yeah, like you said.
Then slowly resentment builds unintentionally because you're like, I feel exhausted, but I gotta keep doing it. And then
So
everyone feels it.
It's like you're not doing it with that pure passion, I guess, in the beginning.
It's the
now it's
intention,
just,
right?
the intention changed, and now you're just like, oh, I do this because, now it's expected of me. Or,
I have to. Well, I think there's what you guys are touching on is like the difference between service because of selflessness,
By choice and
then service with resentment. Because I think mothers, we get into that of resentment is an easy
it's
feeling
a
for
sneaky
me,
bee.
girl.
It is.
That is a gear I can kick into real quick because I feel justified in my service. I feel justified in my pain. I feel justified.
I'm so depleted.
But look at all this I'm doing for everyone. And it's like, no one asked me crazy.
I think that's, and I'm not saying serving is bad. I don't want to even have that be a thing, but I do think, I have to catch myself when I start feeling depleted. I'm like, whoa. I love being a mom. I love working. I love being a wife. Why doesn't it feel like I love this right now?
Right.
And then I have to dial it back. I'm like, okay, if I'm feeling this way, that vibe's rubbing off on everyone around me too. And so I need to figure out how to get in alignment and be intentional and be honest with myself. If I can't say yes and own it and do it with a good attitude, then my answer should be no. I'm not going to get a gold star for saying yes all the time. Like I need to do it with when I'm full of life, when I have energy to do it happily.
Yes. You have to have priorities, right?
Yeah.
And you can always connect that back to like serving others too, because if you can't properly show up for yourself, you can't properly show up for anyone else.
True.
100%.
So, excuse me, cut that out. If you truly want to serve people, you have to be able to serve yourself. Like realistically, like you
filling your
can't,
cup.
right? You can't. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I think that I love that you feel that way because I think it feels counterintuitive, but it's like, look within, serve yourself. You'll have more to give outward. And some people don't, they think they're going to get lost.
You can only love other people to the extent that you love yourself.
yes, it's a self-respect thing.
Yeah.
But if you don't respect yourself, how do you expect your kids to respect themselves?
Yeah.
Like if you don't have like a standard for yourself, how do you expect your kids or the people you're teaching to have any standard themselves?
100%.
I really like, though, I think your mentality when it starts with gratitude. Because I think it's like when you're serving from a place of gratitude and like, I'm so grateful that I'm a mother. I'm so grateful I get to serve my kids. That's a different feeling.
Yeah.
So I really like it's like that is like that gratitude practice. It comes back to that because when I feel overwhelmed and like you were saying that woman feeling like what's my purpose? I've felt that before. I'm like
Like, what's the point?
What's the point of all this? What am I doing? I've lost sight of like why I even like this. But it's like I have to link back to gratitude. That is like the founding feeling I guess that like the driver.
Yeah.
So I always like this quote from Jay Shetty. He said, your passion becomes your purpose when you use your passion in the service of others.
Love it.
So, I feel like even if you're not a mother or you want to be more than just a mother, it's like, what else are you passionate about? How do you want to serve people in a way that you're actually going to enjoy it and not hate your life or hate having to do it?
Well, and are you letting yourself get curious about it without feeling shame or like it's going to affect, other things?
Yeah. So I think...
Yeah. Yeah, well,
go
sorry.
ahead. No, I forgot what I was saying.
Mother brain.
Mother brain.
We were talking about passion and purpose and allowing that to fuel.
Yeah, I still forgot what I was saying. Good.
Well, the people I'm most inspired by, though, are people who have the passion for it.
Yes.
And you can feel it, even like online on social media, right? Even though it is like fake, right? Social media, everyone's showing their highlight reel. But those are the people that I feel like inspire me, or I can tell when we're like talking, especially this podcast, like you talk to people, you can feel their excitement for what they do, not just from like a marketing standpoint or like
a sales point or whatever.
Yeah, but you can. Those are the people that inspire me the most, is when you feel their passion for it,
their authenticity,
and it's probably the alignment. You know?
Yeah. Those are when the conversations are the best, I think.
Well, I like that you tie that into health and fitness because I mean, what was that one Netflix show? The longest living people in the blue zones, like all that.
Oh.
Well, a lot of those blue zone areas, they contributed purpose or community service with one
longevity.
of the, longevity. And so I think that that's true. It's like you can diet, you can work out, and you can check all those boxes. But if you are not like emotionally into it, I think that's going to affect your mindset. Eventually, it's going to affect your health and fitness, because I do believe that what energy you carry, if it's negative, it can start affecting the physical body.
Yeah.
So I love that you are pro for that for your clients, because not a lot of people touch on that.
It's that no fatigue and a different area, right?
Yeah.
Like
It's just like,
they're
oh,
fatigued.
more
Yeah.
than just what
Yes,
did you eat
fatigue.
today? Let's work out. It's more, you're building more of a connection with your clients. I
Right.
love that.
Yeah, and I think on this, to piggyback on this subject, I talk a lot with my clients in our group calls about auditing your inputs. I think a large part about serving and properly serving and having conversations and whatnot that fuel you is also about auditing who you're around, the environment you're around, everything realistically, what you're intaking. My mentor puts it in a harsher way. And he's like, everyone has that person at work or that person in their life. They're like, fuck, I don't want to see them. I don't want to have a conversation with them. We all have that person. And he describes them as motherfuckers.
To put it simply.
Yeah. And I think it's extremely important to identify those characters in your life.
Well, it is. And to identify why they feel that way to you, why you want to label them
why
that.
you don't want to, like, I've had clients that we've probably all had clients that we don't want to see. We don't want to talk about. They drain you.
Emotional vampires.
They're emotional
Yes.
vampires. Exactly. And I think it's important to audit those type of people. Like in my business now, I audit everyone. I'm very exclusive. Like I audit everyone who comes through. Like I don't want to work with motherfuckers. Like realistically, nobody does. And if you don't, and you own your own business, you don't have to.
Well, and you can't give your full presence of mind, your full help.
Right.
If
You
it's
don't
just
serve them
irritation.
properly.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I'm not serving them properly because I don't want to talk to them.
When
So,
you're
like,
setting yourself up to win,
yeah.
and
Right.
both of you, the
Yeah.
client and you, by
Yeah.
having a good experience.
Yeah,
throughout.
I've told people, hey, I've recommended people to other like coaches and whatnot, because I'm like, I don't feel like we're going to mesh very well. Like I just don't feel like we're going to. So I still want you to crush it. I still want you to win, just not with me.
Well, and I like that because not everyone has the same hairdresser, just like
Right.
health coach, not everyone vibes and fits. And it's like, it feels like you need something else,
Right.
know?
100%.
Some people want hand holding. Some
Yeah.
people like the tough love. So yeah, you got to find your person.
Well, and
Yeah.
something I was thinking of just popped in my brain right now, but like in the beginning, how you're talking about intention, I guess, how do you see, once you start really diving into all these different aspects of a client, how do you see their intention evolve? Because maybe I realize my intention evolves a lot and I have to reestablish, wait, what do I need? What do I want from this? Like, what do I want to get from this? And it might change, but I'm still on the same path. You know what I mean?
Keep it simple. Yeah, that's it. No, a part of the win check-in I talk about, I think it's super important to say your need for the day in each and every day.
Well, I'm saying like, say my goal at first is we
yes.
talked about like, I just want to look hot. Like, I just want to look good in a bathing suit and feel comfortable. But then as I'm working with you, maybe my intent is like, well, no, I want to have a lot of energy so I can serve more, so I can be active because it feels good. It's like, it might flip. Do you see that
evolves and
shift?
stuff. Yeah, I see that all the time. I think I can never, one, I can't force people to have that change. Like some people have the same intention the entire time, which is great. Some people change, which is also great. A lot of time, I don't look for it myself. I let them find it on their own. I think the group calls I do, because it's very mindset based, kind of like this type of these kind of conversations a lot of the time. I think people naturally come to the conclusion that they no longer want the same things. They kind of find other things along the way. It's more of a natural built-in conclusion in the program, I think, at this point, rather than an intentional conclusion that we specifically try to gear them towards. I hope that.
No, I like that. That answered my question. No, for sure. And I think it's funny because we need to give ourselves permission to have our intent change. Like maybe what once the purpose was for a relationship or for a job, it's like it might evolve, but it doesn't mean it was wrong, And I think sometimes when you start, at least for me, when I start changing intention or need to be in alignment again with my why of like anything, it's like not letting that shame creep in. It's like, no, this is supposed to happen. Like we're leveling up. Now I have a new purpose or a new reason, but I'm still on this same path. But it feels very comforting allowing yourself to go through that process.
In my program specifically, each phase, we have different intentions built in, certain like goalposts you have to reach in order to reach the next phase. So with that, they're always gearing towards the same goal, but how they get there looks very different. Like their intentions day to day, like their needs in our check-in can look very different. Like one person, it can be, I need to go to the gym once this week. Another person, it can be, I need to go to the gym 4 times, or I need to eat this instead of whatever it is. The intentions for each day are broken down, fairly simple. But also with my follow-on action with clients who end the program and they evolve to like a group coaching type of thing, I do a 4-dimensional target checklist kind of thing. We go through 4 intentional targets for the month. And your goal that month is to go towards chase those targets. There's these 4 targets that they aim towards, and it's usually all encompassing. And if you feel like one is slacking, you feel it in the other 3. And I think that's important because it's so intertwined with everything we do. So I think when it comes down to it, I can't just coach you how to lose weight. If you want to lose weight, ChatGPT's right there. Like, it'll give you your calories. It'll give you everything you need. I have a free calorie calculator in my bio. Like go use it, whatever. Don't work with me if you just want to lose weight. And when it comes down to it, like there's a process to work with me. It's fairly exclusive and you have to apply and everything, but you have to want it more than just the weight loss. So that why in the very beginning, it is important because yes, it may change, but I do really try to get it out of people from the start. So they get that intention, that core, that pure childhood intention out and in the open. So they have that as a North Star kind of thing. And that evolves, of course, but that's important as well.
And just before you guys move on, I kind of like that you have like 4 pillars or standards and goals that they're aiming towards. And like you said, like when you're focused on one, maybe the other 3 are suffering. It's almost like a self-check, a way to like make sure you're staying in balance of like whatever your goals are. Because I find myself sometimes like I'll go hard in one direction and then all these other things at home or whatever, my relationship are suffering, or I'll go home and then work so it's like, I like that there's like it's like a way to keep yourself balanced.
Yes. Connection. That's the 4th one.
Yeah. No, because I think all that connection when I'm like, I gotta, do this, I gotta be focused, but it's like, I'm missing the connection. So all of this doesn't matter. Yeah. Like if I don't have that connection, I'm very much a people person. I need the connection. So I like that there's like a balance there.
Yeah. And you'll feel, like you said, you'll feel some areas slip for 1 month. Like if you want to focus on service this month, other things might slip a little bit, like your personal stuff might slip a little bit, but next month you have the ability to, balance it back out.
What are ways that you challenge yourself to like serve and intentionally give back?
I had a client, she wasn't doing her check-ins. Shame on her. She wasn't doing her check-ins. And then I had a conversation with her. And every week, every Thursday, I do a group call without fail right now. But for a while, I was very spotty with it. I was like, I don't even know what to talk about. We're just going to cancel this today, like whatever. And she messaged me and said, I was waiting to start my checkups back on when you started doing the group calls again. I'm like, ouch.
Like, dang it, I guess I affected that decision.
Ever since then, I haven't missed a single one. And it's been months now. And it's like a high priority for me. So with the service, I have eyes on. I have people that rely on me. I have a responsibility, like a parent does, right? Like you have eyes on. So it's almost like an internal checklist, or an external checklist. Like people are watching you, you have to tighten up. And of course I slip, and we all slip, right? But like I said before, it's important to get back into the motion as fast as possible. Like it's okay to slip, but don't do it more than 2 days. Yeah. Like get back on track. Like if I don't do my gratefulness practice like one day, I better do it tomorrow. Like don't miss 2 days in a row. So I think I have the 4-dimensional targets, of course, that I work towards. I do certain non-negotiables that keep me grounded, like the gratefulness practice. And as long as I'm doing those, everything kind of falls in line and I feel connected and I feel good. So as long as I have those non-negotiables, I think the external checklist and the checklists I have for myself, they align and they feel good. And if I feel good with them, then I'm making progress in some way, shape, or form. And that's all I care about. It's not about being perfect. It's about doing something, right?
Yeah. And giving back, giving outward.
Yeah.
What are some of your other non-negotiables? Sorry, I was gonna ask that question, and then you said it again. I was like, okay.
So I travel a lot. So the gratefulness practice is I usually have a beaded bracelet. I take it with me everywhere. I actually lost it, which is terrible for me. And the first bead I do the same thing every day. First bead, I pray. And the rest I use for individual things I'm grateful for. And it can be the same thing for multiple days. It can be very quick.
Did you grow up Catholic?
I did.
You did? I'm just finding the bead thing. I was just I like that idea. I think that's cool.
It's more of a physical object to tie it to more than the beads.
100%. It's not a saint. It's
I'm actually not really Catholic anymore. I'm Christian, but it did.
I'm sorry. My ADD was like, you must be Catholic.
That made sense. It probably stems from that. But having a physical thing, but also I had when I got out of the military, I had a real big issue with feeling like genuine gratefulness and being thankful for everything. Like I could act like I got
I could say all the right things.
Like I could do what everybody else is doing and feel really, make people think I feel really grateful and whatnot. But internally, I'm like, I don't feel connected. And practice makes progress, right? So I just want to practice. I just want to do those things more and more that I'm bad at because I suck at them. And if I suck at it, it's a gap. I feel and I see it's a growth moment, right? It's a lesson. Where you're triggered, that's your therapist, right? Yeah. So it was a huge trigger for me. So if I do those, I feel grounded, but also it's a visual representation. Like I see that all day, every day. Like I hear it clanking on the desk or whatnot. And I'm like, I'm grateful for those things. Like it's a visual reminder that in those times where shit sucks, I'm like, but I'm grateful for these things regardless. Like I'm grateful for the birds in the morning, or I'm grateful for my mother, or whatever I say for that day. Like I see that.
Small things.
Yeah. That's my main non-negotiable. I like to have one specific one like that because it's easier to stick to, for one, and two, if I'm traveling, if I'm busy, if life gets super hectic, I can still do it anywhere in the world and not suffer because I don't do it. So that's my trigger. That's my only one, realistically.
Nice.
Yeah.
I bet you have more.
Yeah.
What about working out? I bet you have to work out certain times a week.
No, I love the gym. It's I don't have to. I've traveled enough to realize that it's not a part of who I am at this point. I guess it kind of is, but I know enough to be like, if I travel, I don't have to work out every day. I don't have to.
You found other ways to feel grounded or stress relief.
As long as I have that one non-negotiable, I feel okay. And it might not be perfect in that day, but I feel pretty okay. And that's good some days.
I like that you have that bracelet, because for me too, I'm a person where I struggle. Like I am grateful, but I struggle to like show it more. Like I see other people do it and I'm like, dang it, how come I can't like shine like that in gratitude? Yeah. I have to be reminded to be grateful.
Me too. Yeah, I get it.
But I feel like I've been on that same track. I don't have a bracelet, but I feel like I've been trying to just say it more often, even for the little things. And I feel like it does get easier.
It does.
It becomes more of like just a natural thing.
It's a habit.
Yeah, even just like, that someone braked in front of me. Oh, thank you for saving me from not, hitting this person because I wasn't paying attention. Like just things like that. And I feel like it does change you. It does make it easier to, even if you are having a shitty day, it's easier to tap into that gratitude again and just let that go.
100%.
But I love the bracelet thing.
Yeah,
I feel like
physical connection.
Probably.
You're gonna have to get merch after this. Yeah. Well, and it makes me think that or maybe think of like default programming too. If you were raised and only the negative was pointed 100%. Out, and that's what you think you're supposed to focus on with yourself, everything you messed up, everything you should do better, and not giving yourself the pats on the back, celebrating the things you're doing right. So you can't be all going wrong. I feel like it is training your brain to seek out the positive and not just focusing on the shame and the guilt and the negative.
Right.
Because I held a lot of shame too.
Yeah.
We're the same.
Close to death.
You guys are experiencing death constantly. Let it go. No more shame.
Yeah, I think it's important to note the lengthy process it takes though to build those new habits and those new mentalities. Because if we think of neural pathways, it's like tracks in the snow. Like from our childhood, we have this one set that's been walked over so many times. That path is clear. It might not be the path we want to take, but it's clear. So, and as humans, we want the easiest path. In the Marine Corps,
comfort,
it's comfort. It's easy. I mean, in the Marine Corps, we used to have to train ourselves to walk off the path to avoid, triggering, bombs, whatever it was. So we had to take the beaten path or the not so good path. And if we want to create a new neural pathway, a new habit like that, we have to intentionally walk through the snow, no matter how deep it is. And we, not only that, but we have to let the snow fill in the other path. So sometimes some days we might be making that new path most of the time, but if we walk that old path, we're just uncovering that snow a little bit. So it takes a little longer.
Yeah. I love that. I always try to reference you have 3 choices. The paths I see are like levels. Like you can stay on this same road and it's just flat. There's not anything exciting. You could take the lower end and, spiral down, or you could take the high road, which is climbing that mountain. It's going to be hard, but
maybe you don't see the top. But
but once you're there. So I always like to see it as like that,
That's cool. I like that.
But I think it also helps relinquish the shame when you realize like, oh, I was shown this before. That's why I think this is normal. And that's why it still doesn't feel right. And now I want to keep doing it different. I think it is important to make that correlation of like, I don't have to be the person I was raised to be, or people told me I should be. It's like, I'm allowed, like you said, taking that power back. I'm allowed to create my own path and do what I want because I think it's right.
Yeah.
And I think it's like relinquishing those chains of, the connections you had to people pleasing or showing up as a good girl. If I do these things, I'm praised for it. It's like, what do I want to do for me or what I think is right?
A little bit differently too.
Yeah. But I think there's clients that we've seen, a lot of people, and maybe it goes back to that victimization place of like, they don't think they have that power control to like, or they haven't given themselves permission to try to do it different.
Yeah.
So I like that you have that.
Moving that mask, right?
Yeah.
My mentor, I was in a room full of people who I looked up to, like other coaches and whatnot, made so much more money than I do. It's crazy. They're so successful. But they're great people. And he was going around asking us, what's holding you back? I believe the question is what's holding you back. It doesn't really matter. He got to me and I sighed. I'm like, fuck.
I'm gonna have to say something.
Because I already knew what I had.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to say it. I knew he was going to break me down for it. And I said, I don't feel worthy to serve these people. Like, I don't feel like I'm in a position to serve these people properly. And going back to that permission, he said, Brandon, if you stay small for one more day, I'm going to punch you in the face.
Love that tough love.
And then he said some other stuff, but neither here nor there. And that permission alone was a weight lifted off the shoulders. And I think we need to give ourselves more permission. At the end of those beads every day, the last bead, I say, I give myself permission to lead. Because that's my goal, is to lead people, right? So me giving myself that permission, it's crucial for me.
Yeah.
And I think we need to give ourselves more permission day in, day out.
And I feel like you're empowering your clients, but I'm giving myself permission to like my life, to like who I am, to figure myself out. Like I love that.
What advice would you give to someone who is just starting out their health journey?
There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of noise out there. Keep it simple, stupid. Yeah. That simple.
Yeah. Something I wanted to touch on, and I know this is random, but you can clip it in different if you need to. With service, what I want to touch on is like, I know that we've had some talks about doing a service project this December.
We do.
We're going to collab a little bit, Ego and Brandon.
Yep.
Why don't you tell people a little bit about what that is, what your motivation to start it was, and what that's going to look like?
Yeah. So we are doing a toy drive this year. Last year was the first time I did it. I was listening to a podcast and someone was like, I just did a toy drive for the hell of it. And it's super easy. Like, why doesn't everybody do it? And I'm like, you're right.
You're like, dang it, he's right.
Why don't I do it? And that moment kind of changed. It flipped a switch. And the old me would have been like, I don't know how. I'll try to figure it out and do it next year. Instead, I did it late, but I did it last year. And I'm like, I got to do this. Now I have people counting on me. People have asked me like, hey, are you doing toy drive this year? And I'm like, absolutely. Like I have to now. So you go, and Stupid Simple Coaching, we're partnering to do a toy drive this year, which I am super stoked for. It'll start November.
Yeah. And we're going to have it in our Ego lobby, and there's going to be a way to donate either monetarily if you can't come in physically, or to just drop physical toys in the bin there. But I love giving back, and especially to children. I just know like children kind of are subject to the environment their parents are creating for them. And they don't really have a choice a lot about what they're able to receive or eat or do. It's like, it's kind of up to the parents leading the way. So I love being able to like just donate a little bit of cheer, a little bit of love, that they can feel loved and fulfilled by having some goodies, some toys during the holidays. It just feels nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It feels awesome.
and we are going to be partnering up with the Community Christmas Tree organization. They're an awesome organization in the community. You guys are welcome to, I think they have a station at the mall, like with a Christmas tree, and you can pull tags off of it, and you can either do it just one family or a bunch of families. But I've done it every year for the past 5 years with my kids, where we'll take a few, shop for a couple families, and give back. Because to me, it's super important to also show my kids the joy in giving, not just receiving. But I love that we're able to do it in a bigger way with you this year and donate more items.
Super cool. What do you say? November 17th? Sound good?
Let's go. We're doing it. Starting November 17th.
November 17th. We're doing it. Lock it in.
And that's one thing I'm not sure if you were aware of, but
I was just hearing about that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So we're doing a toy
Joanne's
drive.
on maternity leave.
Drop off toy. Is it for just all ages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah. Kids in all ages. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Brandon, I feel like we touched on a lot of interesting things.
We did.
Loved all the information that you shared. Is there anything else that you are currently working on, or any goals that you have for yourself?
My primary focus is the toy drive, I will say. I want this to be bigger and better than last year. Now that I have some time to prep for it, that's my main focus. That's all I care about right now.
Get these toys in.
Yeah, get these toys in.
I love that. And then what is a way that people can follow you, contact you?
My main page that I have everybody go through is on Instagram, Hagar, Hagar _offscript.
Love that. And how often are you posting and putting
Daily.
things out there? Awesome.
I post daily, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. It was nice meeting you.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah. I loved getting to know you a little better.
Yeah,
That
it was
was
a
great.
great time. Yeah.
All right, everyone help.
Perfect.
Thank you for joining us on another enlightening episode of the Awaken Your Ego podcast. We hope our discussions have inspired you to explore new dimensions of health and wellness. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback fuels our mission to empower individuals on their path to optimal well-being.
Stay tuned for more insightful conversations, and until next time, may you continue to awaken your ego and embrace the extraordinary potential within.
Take care, be well, and remember, your journey matters.